So we're going to be presenting about sexual health education at our school, which is E3. So what is sex education? Sex education is a high level of teaching and learning about topics related to sex, sexuality, the LGBTQ plus community, gender identity, exploring values and beliefs, and gaining the skills that are needed to navigate relationships and one's own sexual health.
Many young people receive confusing and conflicting information about relationships, sex, when going through childhood to adulthood. Lack of high quality education, relationship education, and development appropriate sexual education can lead to young people vulnerable to harmful sexual behaviors and sexual exploitation. Learning can contribute to academic success as well as positive mental, emotion, physical, and spiritual health.
So where is sex education mandatory in the US? So in total, there are 8 states where sex education is mandatory and are sexually accurate. Not all states require sexual education, like Arizona, Texas, and Oklahoma. While some are mandatory, there are some states where it is not medically accurate and are still being taught in classes.
Decline in birth control education. From 2006 to 2007, more students were taught about method of birth control, while from 2011 to 2013, more weren't taught about birth control and were taught about abstinence instead.
So in this chart we've gathered from our research, we can see some teenage births from 2017 compared to 2018 from ages 15 and 19 in females. Although there were many more births in 2017, we can see that more Hispanic girls are prone to using, less prone to using birth control.
This is a student response. We sent out a survey and this is what the students replied to.
We asked questions about if they knew resources in their community, if they were taught sex education, what grades they were taught in, if they were aware of common STDs and risks that involve unprotected intercourse, and if they had a trusted adult. Many did have sex education, but there were about 13% of the 54 responses that didn't know what sex education was and had never taken the class.
AB 329 is a bill created to teach K-12 students in California about STDs, healthy attitudes towards sexual orientation, gender, and relationships. It also promotes sexuality as a normal human development. It also helps educators with the clear tool and guidance they need to teach this topic. Parents can choose to opt their children out of sex ed, but they can opt them from discussing gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation. The law also prohibits abstinent-only education and religious.
So our goal as a RDT group is to have a sex education class in our school for lowerclassmen and upperclassmen. In the past, we haven't had a sex education class. Instead, we had Edpuzzle videos and we were quizzed on them. This class would fall under the AB 329 bill, and parents can opt to let their students from taking the class.
Planned Parenthood is the single largest sex education provider in the US. Reaching 1.5 million people, they have programs like Proven to Work, pregnancy, and HIV prevention programs. Peer education programs for the LGBTQ youth, parent and family programs, and training professionals.
As we did our research, we started focusing on some of the drawbacks that we might have for our class, and many of them were related to parents who might think their children are too young to talk about these topics, that they are obscene or inappropriate due to the fact that the bill encourages to openly talk about the LGBTQ plus community and masturbation to be taught in class.
What Goes Around is a mini series by Kaiser Permanente talking about teens' dealings with issues on sexuality, transmitted diseases, friendship, and honesty. When you scan the QR code, you will find the webisodes, links to other websites you might be interested in, facts about STDs, birth control, vaccines like HPV, information about clinics around your area.
We also found videos by Planned Parenthood. They talk about consent, the LGBTQ plus community, resources for parents, relationships, sex, STDs, and safer sex, as well as quizzes for younger teens on party scenarios on what they would do, future plans, and birth control, and what's more effective for the person taking it.
Rue is a chat box that is confidential and you can message for free. You can ask any awkward question you don't want to ask your parents or a trusted adult.
Where we want any questions if you guys have any.
What is Rue again? Is that a real thing?
Ask Rue is a chat bot, so you would go on there and it's private. No one knows who it is. You can ask any questions, and they would respond with medically accurate responses that are doctor approved.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, thank you all. Very good. Very, very, very good presentation.